Hi everyone, my name is Jenny and I'm going to talk about my very first live painting and these lessons, these raw lessons that I learned from showing up and completing this task. I'll start right from the beginning here. I was given this beautiful invitation to go and paint at a Women Empowerment Summit here in Canada, BC. And it was this beautiful event called SheWolf 2.0. I had gone last year and I felt like there was an unveiling that happened, and now I'm being called to be an artist, a live artist. I'm like, wow, what an honor, what an honor. But also because I had to show up in my energy and in my light. I felt a lot of challenges. I faced a lot of fears and a lot of things bubbled up to the surface for me. The first thing was my energy. When I woke up in that morning, I was already frazzled, I was anxious, I was worried, and I brought that in to the building as well. And not only that, I was feeling all the energies of the people around me. There's like 200 and something people, women, with this beautiful feminine energy that were bouncing around. And I know that they were going to be watching me do this painting in passing. So something I would have taken away, and I don't know how you do it, but protecting your energy. I had a friend tell me, maybe you want to wear a stone next time, put them in your bra, whatever it is that you need to do to protect your energy, and just set that boundary within yourself so you can feel more calm and grounded moving forward. Setting up my space, again, I usually light a candle and I do a meditation and a bit of journaling, as well as a smudge. And I did not do that this time. I just felt so rushed, and I had this deadline in my head that I had to be done by the end of the event. Even though I knew that if I didn't finish the painting by the end of the event, that I would still be given time to take the painting home and to finish it. I know that the event coordinator would not have rushed me at all, and I know that in her heart. Um, and for myself, the intention was always to do a wild woman painting, and I wanted to have a wild symbol. This is just kind of what came out from within me, and the intention of it was a symbol of heart-led space, and that it was strong and powerful. It does radiate out. It is contained to our divine source in that piece here. And there was this beautiful epic tree that they had curated. I will see if I can find a picture and share that. It was just gorgeous. It was absolutely gorgeous. That was where it started. And for me, that was the beginning of the painting. I wish I had a little bit more intention towards it, if I was able to cultivate that energy by walking around to the other vendors and maybe grounding into more of the opening ceremony and sitting with myself, and not being so. I had this fear of missing out. I'm missing out on the vendors. I'm missing out on these events and these workshops because I have to do this painting. And I was like, well, that's not it. I'm here to paint. It's okay. But I wanted to enjoy. I wanted to receive. So that was something that I noticed was maybe causing a bit of reservation in continuing with the painting. As I got into it, I noticed that practice, because I don't usually paint in acrylics, it was quite difficult for me to move forward with certain, like the smudging and things like that. Always practice your mediums. I walked into it, I didn't know what brushes I was going to get. I didn't know what kind of acrylic paints I was going to get. I got some marker pens as well that were given to me. I brought a bit of my own supplies because I was worried that I wouldn't have enough, and that was a little bit of a scarcity piece for myself. And I really had to come out of my mind and into my heart to paint, and I didn't realize how difficult it was for me to be witnessed in this vulnerable state. You know, I was so scared of judgment. I had a lot of fear that it wasn't going to be good enough, it wasn't powerful enough. And for myself, that was a big reflection on how I feel my worth comes through in my art and my creative outlets. So just acknowledging that, that was a really big piece for me. And I don't know if that sounds familiar to any artists out there. Drop a comment, I'd love to know. And Expectations. I had this arbitrary expectation that 1, it needed to be finished before the end of the event. 2, it needed to look really good because I was selling raffle tickets towards my nonprofit organization. And I really wanted to be able to do that. I also I was given a table to have a booth, and I was like, I can't do both. I can't do this juggle. What is my expectation? How would I want this to unfold? I couldn't supervise the table as well as do the painting at the same time. So I felt like I was neglecting one or the other no matter where I was. And it wasn't a balanced way of splitting my energy. I do love this painting very much. I did get to take it home. It's gone through a bit of a journey. There was a hole here that you can't actually see. I have mended it. And, you know, it just shows that every piece has a journey. And I even changed and added all of this when it came back home and I did the repairing. One of the things, there's actually quite a few things that I had learned from this painting, and is to set my expectations in a way that respects my boundaries. So for myself, if I was to do another live painting, one of the things that I would do is I would give myself a window, and I would have a little bit of a plan, a color palette, and an intention, and an opening ritual and ceremony, and a closing ritual and ceremony to open the loop, to cultivate the creative ideas, the inspired ideas, and to close the loop and celebrate the journey, the process, and the result of what came. I don't know if I'll ever do another live painting. I would love to, but definitely with more intention and less expectations and boundaries. So I could go and enjoy this event and be present with all of these other beautiful energies and other practitioners and healers and creatives. It would have been lovely to have done both. So this was my lesson and my journey for my first live painting. I'd love to hear yours. Thanks for subscribing.